headphones, okay?
Yeah, sure, definitely not a problem. So you can see this, right?
Yeah, I can see now.
Okay, fine. Sure. So it's all blank screen I've shared with you.
So are we just the two of us in this class or the other students too?
I'm sorry?
Are we,
Hello? Hello?
can you hear me, Shreya?
Yeah, it's fine. What is that?
I said, are we just the two of us in this class or the other
No, we
students?
have one more student in line actually, but it's like it just started for him. There is one guy actually. We just completed one demo over there, and you will be joining into that guy. So we'll be three of us.
Okay.
We'll be having some interactive sessions and all, right? Not a problem with
yeah.
that. So anyways, I've just completed a few 2 to 3 classes anyways, because I'll have to set up SharePoint even in your PC and all, right? And then
Right.
we'll be moving into the actual part of SharePoint. So you'll be joining into that guys one, or if that is not done anyways, I think you'll be only 2.
Okay, no problem.
I'm sorry. So now, let us see what is all about SharePoint. So let us first and foremost, you have to know that SharePoint is a Microsoft product. I hope you know that. Microsoft
Yeah.
company have released something called MS, Microsoft SharePoint. Let us see what actually is a SharePoint. You can see my writing, right?
I can see writing.
Yep. I'm just writing on a PowerPoint, maximizing it. Don't get into the handwriting. It's so I'm just using my mouse to write it out. Okay.
Right. Okay, no
The
problem.
thing is, I just have to. I just want to convey by writing something, so just you can understand. We can understand better, right?
Sure. And even I need some time to write down so I can, because
No
then I
issues.
can understand better.
No
so I'll be
issues.
telling you that.
Fine. Not a problem. You can take a notes on that. Okay.
Okay.
Now, and 2001 was the first year when the first SharePoint version got released. So this is a year when actually 2001 got SharePoint got released by Microsoft Corporation. Fine. I'm just touching upon the basics of how actually it went around. Right. Now the basic
Okay.
the basic use, why actually they got evolved with SharePoint, the concept called SharePoint and all. I'll share you in 5 minutes anyways, but I'm just giving you the basic thing, like who SharePoint is and what is the first year, because these are some things which anyways you don't have to know, but it's good to know these things, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And till now around it's around, I'm talking about statistics of 2012 till 2012. All over the world there are 37 million license of SharePoint, around 37 million licenses. Then think about what is actual market of SharePoint. It's been used very widely, as some guys are using this as direct as ERP product also. So this is a very powerful tool which was completely built on .NET. So
Okay.
SharePoint is a product which was completely built on .NET, and complete SharePoint development is in Microsoft's Redmond office. So that is where this actually got into the place into this. Now this is all about the beginning story. Let's get into what is the origin of development of SharePoint. Why actually we need SharePoint, right? So that is what we actually should know, because once we are entering into the product or product called SharePoint, we should know why we are using and all, right? Right. So let us say we have an office, a corporate office or any office, and let us say there will be different roles. Like I can have a team member role, I can have some team members, am I right? Let us say there is a project which has got 2 team members, right? And there is a team leader who is taking care of these 2 team leads, and let us say there is a manager who is managing the whole team, who is managing a lead and a team member, right? And let us say there is a director. Let's take few roles in a company, right? And manager is reporting to director, lead is directing to manager, and team member are directing to leader. Fine. Now let us say a company got a new project, right? Let us say they got a project and they want to develop some. Let us take an example of your field itself. Let us say they want to build an product for travel. See, you book and reserve hotels through some site, right? Website, right? Right. So let us say this company have got an order to build that website. Fine. Now whenever any company or any project get the order of building something, the first and foremost thing what they do is they collect the requirements from client. Am I right? So first they'll go to client and they'll say what do you need. Then the client will explain something like we want a website for booking ticket, and for booking ticket we want some feature like the date, the time of check-in, the time of checkout and all. So those are nothing but your requirements. Fine. Yeah. So those requirements, all the requirements will be gathered by, let us say, team members. Fine. And they'll prepare some Word documents. Am I right? So they'll be preparing all the requirements, and they'll be plotting into something called Microsoft Word. Now let us say they have done with requirements, and they'll give it to lead. Now this guy will take this Word document and will go through all the requirements. If there are any reviews, and he'll correct it back, and he'll send it to manager. Am I right? Now the manager will go through the Word document, and let us say he's preparing one presentation, PPT, right? And this presentation he'll send it to director, because director won't want to go through the whole Word and all. So he'll be just seeing into presentation, just a presentation of few slides, and he'll understand all the requirements of my client. Am I right? Right. Now all this will be segregated, and director will finally send an email to CEO. Am I right? He'll just say brief email to CEO. Am I right? Now what is flowing here? I am flowing a Word document here, I am flowing a Word document here, and this guy is preparing some presentation, and there is email flowing. Am I right? And now in between team member and team lead, there will be some more emails. Am I right? And again in between lead and manager, there will be some more emails regarding to this Word document requirements, right? So there are so much of communication being going on between this role to this role, this role to this role and all, which in turn, if it goes to higher level, it will be messy. Am I right? So just wanted to give one more example. Like here, let us say this word is, can you hear me? Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, can you just do one thing, Trupti? Like, can you just open up this team viewer once? You can see here, you can just go to this voice over IP, okay, which is this, and unmute this.
Good. Should I go to my team viewer?
No, yeah, in your team viewer, just do this, unmute this, so that we can get out of this Skype. Seems there is some problem in Skype.
Okay, so should I just get out of Skype, right?
Exactly, yeah, just exit your Skype.
Okay, 1 second, give me.
Yeah, sure, I'll just quit this. Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, so you can do one thing. Just go to, I'm just showing you, right? Just go to this voice over IP button here, click on that, and there will be mute here. Just click on unmute in this way. Can I say this one? So do you need any help here? You can go to this in a team viewer again. It will be in this form. You can just go to this, go to the mic symbol, and can you hear me, Trupti? Should I? No, unmute it. Unmute it. I mean, I just unmute your microphone. So that I can hear your voice. So that's only. So is that visible to you? Hello. Okay, but I cannot hear your voice actually. Let's just get back to Skype. Let me just call you back again in Skype. Can you just call me back in Skype? Or let me call you. Skype.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. So, are you calling through Skype?
Yeah, I'm calling through Skype.
Okay, fine. So, you don't want this. Okay, let me mute this up again then.
I don't mind anything, but it just keeps disconnecting for some reason. Whatever works out for you.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to show you, like, if we connect directly to TeamViewer directly, we don't need Skype. That's what I said actually. So, I don't know. Is there any problem with your TeamViewer?
No, there's no problem with my TeamViewer.
Okay, because you can just unmute your this thing so that I can we can skip the Skype and anyways now it's clear, right? Now let's go back to our business. That's fine now. Okay, fine now. Fine, not a problem. So now you can see the screen, right? You can see the screen. Hello. Hi Trupti, you can see this?
Yeah. Srinath, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you. Fine.
Yeah.
So you can see the screen, right?
Right, I can see a screen.
Okay, fine. So we'll just continue it with this, right? Now, so what was going on is...
You said that the manager sends an email to the director.
Yeah, so till that point you have heard, right?
Yeah.
Not a problem, we'll just resume from there. Now, as I said, my manager, I just want to hear your nod, that's it. Whether I'm connected to you or not. Oh no, that's why I just want some from you. That's it, like, so that,
okay.
I can, right?
Yes.
Now, so what I said is, it's all first started with team member who is actually, gathering all the requirements and preparing the word, right?
Right.
And now, then it went to leader through email, and he was just doing something with word, and he has sent to manager. Am I right?
Okay.
And manager prepared something called presentation out of this word. like he just segregated all the points and he prepared some presentation, right? And again he has sent this to director, let us say through email. And the finally the director, went through all the PPTs and all emails, and what he did, he plotted one final email and he sent it to CEO. Now you can see that there is so much of communication being happening. Am I right? Right. Now let us say the leader, whenever my word went to leader, let us say there is a chance that team member can edit something in Word. Am I right?
Right.
Now the actual word, the latest word is with my leader, but the thing is a team member is doing something else after sending it to leader. Right. Now let us say leader has you just ping me?
Yeah, I'm just saying I can understand you so far, don't worry.
Oh, fine, not a problem. So what is happening is, again leader is sending something to manager. Let us say at this point again team guys are changing something, and again manager is sending something again. Now let us say when the final mail goes to CEO, right, there will be so much of gap between the information which has passed to CEO and this requirement document. Am I right?
Right.
So what is happening here? Some inconsistency of flow is happening, and this happens with each and every company without any exclude on this. So now here all these roles need some center some center processing where they can share all the words across the people. Am I right? Now let us see what it is. So Microsoft have provided something called Sharepoint. Now let us see what is happening here. Now again we'll take the same role of team member, lead, manager and director, right? Now what happens with Sharepoint is, a team member, whatever the document, Word document he is preparing, he have to go and upload it into Sharepoint. Now let us say team member works on this for 5 days, right? And after 5th day he uploaded this Word document into Sharepoint. Now it is up to lead to get this Word document from Sharepoint and do some modifications. Am I right? Now what happens is, whenever this lead gets the Word, what he'll do, he'll lock the permission to team member. Locking in the sense team member can do nothing on this Word now. Now whatever word is there with team member is there with team lead? Yes, because he is locking the permissions of team member. Now let us say lead is working for 2 days on this Word again, and he'll upload back to Sharepoint at the same location, right? Now what happens, lead will give signal to manager that yes, the Word is ready, now take. Now manager will take up the Word and he will lock the permission for leader and the team member. Now what happens, if now the ball is at manager's court, so what happens, both lead and team member, no one will be able to change this Word. Now what happens, my manager will work on this Word and will prepare a PPT, which is PowerPoint presentation, and this PowerPoint presentation will be uploaded into Sharepoint. Now what happens, director will download that PowerPoint presentation here, but using something at central location which is called Sharepoint. And here, so I just want to convey something here. Whenever there is a flow going on, let us say when it comes to director, the Word version will be same. Am I right? Because director will now lock manager permission, lead permission and team member permission. What happens, this Word, whatever is traveling from team member to lead, lead to manager, manager to director will be same. Now there is a consistency of information being going on. Am I right? Right. And now it all happened with the only center point installation, which is nothing but Sharepoint. So this is the main reason. I just took a very simple example of information flow between different roles in organization and how it happens. And even if you have seen in your real time job like travel, you have seen like so many miscommunications happen because of different versions of a Word document or email, right? You will send an email to your boss and he'll never read it, and you will send some more email after 10 days. He will say that no, I haven't received your email before 10 days, right? So these sort of miscommunication happen. But if there is a central system where you can just upload and say yes, I have got, tomorrow you can have a fight with him that yes, see, you can see my word has been already uploaded into SharePoint on so and so date and time. Am I right? So that is a system what is being created in SharePoint, and this can go to any higher level, and all these guys are using SharePoint for this purpose of making the equal communication of everything. Right. So this is the main point where actual SharePoint development started, like to maintain or to grow the communication, or to reduce the confusions in communication between different roles across the organization in a big corporate. So that is why our SharePoint actually evolved. Now with this, we can conclude some points that it is generated for intranet portals. What is an intranet portal? Whenever I say intranet means the network which is created in organization only, right? Because let us say you have a travel website. Now this travel website can be accessed only in between your company, and no one outside can access. Am I right? That can be happen. Right. So that internal access is nothing but an intranet. Fine. And what is internet? Internet is nothing but world. It's like outside web. It's a complete internet, means anyone can access from anywhere. So network is provided across the world. So that is nothing but internet. So we say here that SharePoint is the best suit for intranet portals. A portal is again nothing but a website. You will understand all these terms better when we actually enter into SharePoint classes. Fine. Now, and next very big advantage of this SharePoint is document sharing. Right? You can share all the documents instead of sharing the documents through mail. See, once you send your document to someone, so your boss, let us say, you may or may not have track of the same mail after 3 months, right? You have to search for all the mails after 3 months. But if you share the same document in SharePoint, you just have to remember the location where you have shared. That's it, and that will be staying there forever, right? So that is something called document sharing. And then with the document sharing, you have one more advantage called file management. Am I right? You can manage your files directly in your server, direct server. It is same as saving your Word document. Let us say you have prepared your resume and you have saved it in your personal document, let us say in your laptop. Even after 3 months, you know where your document is placed. Am I right? Yes, because you will be knowing that is your personalized directory, and same way you can save your own document and all the files in SharePoint server. We'll be seeing in upcoming classes like how we actually provide all these steps. Fine. Now, so in the same way, there are in the same manner, it has got so many other benefits and all. And whenever we actually start our SharePoint, you will be in each and every point you will be seeing what are all the different things that we can do and we can develop using SharePoint. Fine. Now let's get into something, what is, we have just seen why SharePoint has been introduced by Microsoft, because to reduce something called communication confusions in between different roles across the same organization. Fine. Now let us see, there is one more very important thing in here. See, Microsoft Word, right? And I'm sure you will be knowing what is a Microsoft Excel, and what is Microsoft PowerPoint, right? So SharePoint provides direct access to all your Microsoft Office tools, which means you can directly edit something using SharePoint portal itself. You don't have to download something and do that. But anyways, these can be done only so can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm just getting a ping. I just thought it's from you. Anyways, not from you.
Yes.
Anyways, right?
If I keep losing you, I'll be pinging you so you know what's happening, okay?
Okay, definitely, not a problem. Sure. Okay. Fine. So you basically, I just want to ask one question. At least you understood what is the purpose of SharePoint we have in place?
Yeah, I understood.
Yeah, fine. So that is the main purpose we have. And now let us see what are all the flavors which we got from Microsoft. So my SharePoint have got two flavors in market, and it is a basic thing. So SharePoint, Microsoft have released something called SharePoint Foundation, which is nothing but SharePoint, right? Foundation. So this is a basic framework of SharePoint where you will be developing all your websites, right? And across our classes we will be learning the latest one, which is SharePoint 2010. Fine. Anyways, we have already. Sorry.
Quick question.
Yep.
Not to interrupt you.
Yeah, sure.
Do I need to know the 2007 SharePoint tool to learn this?
You don't have to.
Right.
Yeah. It's an upgraded version of SharePoint, and you don't have to. If you learn 2010, which means you can also work on 2007. No problem at all. Fine.
Okay.
And also we have got a new release again 2012, which is not again a stable one. Anyways, right? So if you know one version of SharePoint, that's more than enough. Actually, you can work on any version. No problem at all, because everything will be almost the same in all versions, right? Cool. So now you will be learning 2010 anyways. So here we have a basic framework which is nothing but a SharePoint Foundation, and this is for free of license. Microsoft gives us basic framework for free, right? And this is the first flavor of SharePoint. And then we also have one more flavor which is built on this foundation, which is nothing but SharePoint Server. Again we call it as SharePoint Server 2010. Fine. This is completely built on something called SharePoint Foundation, and this is licensed. And if we go to bigger higher corporates, I just said by the statistics of 2012 there were 37 million licenses, right? Which means they have bought SharePoint Server. Am I right? Because only SharePoint Server SharePoint servers are paid ones, not the foundation. Foundation one is the basic foundation on which you can stand the server. We'll be seeing each and everything when upcoming classes. Don't be get confused here. But only thing is, during the demo class, you have to know what exactly is SharePoint and what are the flavors and all. Fine. But anyways, you'll be knowing each and every component of SharePoint, and you'll get to know how to use SharePoint and all. No problem at all. Fine. So these are the different flavors of SharePoint we have. Anyways, we'll be concentrating very much on SharePoint Foundation because this is like a pillar for server. If you know the whole SharePoint Foundation, I'm sure you'll be knowing the whole server. Fine. Sure. Then let's go to the actual hardware and software requirements of SharePoint Server. We just said hardware and software requirements. Now, whenever I say hardware and software requirements, what does it actually mean? Any guess, Trupti?
Yeah, hardware means whatever computer you need or whatever server you need to run the system. And
Yeah.
software is the internal programs.
Perfect. Like here, it is like whatever you're right. Actually, the hardware is nothing but a hardware of your computer, and software is nothing but all the operating system and other supporting softwares we need to run SharePoint. Fine. Now, so basically, as if we come to first hardware, SharePoint needs at least a 64-bit machine, right? You should have at least a 64-bit machine in order to run your SharePoint. So now the first question is, do you know what is bit machine or 64-bit machine, Trupti? Or you want me to explain?
No.
So
Yeah, please.
I mean, no in the sense no to explain, or you don't know? I didn't get that answer.
No, you need to explain. I don't know what 64.
Okay, fine. I will just we will just break here. I'll just explain you what is a bit machine, and then we'll come back to this slide. Fine.
Okay.
Now let me explain what is a bit machine. Now currently Windows XP, I hope, right? You know what is
Yeah.
Windows XP. Now,
Yes.
in market, whatever Windows XP is there is a 32-bit machine. And now, let us first see what is 32-bit machine, right? And you will understand better what is 3264 again. Now, whenever I say 32-bit machine, it means our processor. Every computer will have a processor, right? Let us say Intel. Let us take an example of Intel processors, right? You have i5. We always say I have i4 processor or i5 processor or i6. We always say that, right? A processor is nothing but a very important chip which is used for something like input and output. It has got some inputs and outputs. Fine. What it does is, like now let us say you are opening your Microsoft Word, let us say, right? What happens is, whenever you click on Microsoft Word symbol, right, your operating system will send signals to this processor that some request has come and you have to process this request, right? So what happens, this request will be entered into processor and it will be given an output. So whenever it enters, it actually goes to that Microsoft Word and it will open it for you.
Okay.
Fine. Now whenever I say input and output, it actually, and I can also call this 32-bit as 4 bytes, right? Am I right? Because 1 byte, do you have a basic programming knowledge, Tripti? Like
No programming knowledge.
no, I mean anyways, right? So 1 byte is nothing but 8 bits actually. This is the basic thing. Anyways, now okay, at least first we'll see what is a bit and byte, and then we'll come to again 32-bit, right? Now you know whenever you say file, have you ever seen that this is 52 KB file or 64 KB file? Have you heard of these things?
Yes.
You have heard of these things, right? Like whenever you say any resume or something, let us say your resume is of 64 KB, or whenever you want to upload any resume to portal, they say that yes, 500 KB is the maximum size. Am I right?
Right.
Now what is this KB? KB is nothing but kilobyte, right? Kilobyte. I said kilobyte, which means, can I say 1 kilobyte is 1000 bytes? Am I right? Because kilo means 1000, right? 1
Right.
kilobyte, which means 1 KB is equal to 1000 bytes. Am I right?
Right.
So this is the convention. So bytes is nothing but, whenever I say KB, let us say your hard disk is some let us say 50 GB hard disk. You know what is meant by GB, right? GB is nothing but gigabyte, right? And you also heard of megabytes, right? And you have heard of kilobytes. Now what is this byte? A byte is nothing but a memory location, a memory which is saved in your hard disk. Fine. That's why we say, whenever you say kilobyte, which means 1 kilobyte is nothing but 1000 bytes, right? And byte is nothing but a memory in your hard disk. We say 50 GB. Right now, let us say, so now whenever I say 1 kilobyte, it means 1000 bytes. Fine. Now I can also say, so now there is one more thing called megabyte, right? You have seen MBs, right? 1 MB is nothing but 1000 kilobytes, right? And above this we have something called gigabyte, right? Gigabyte is also nothing but 1000 megabytes. So this is the convention we follow, which means 1 gigabyte is equal to 1000 megabytes, MB. 1 GB is equal to 1000 MBs. Fine. And 1 MB is nothing but your 1000 KBs, and 1 KB is nothing but your 1000 bytes. Fine.
Fine.
So this B is nothing but bytes, and here we have low level convention called 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. Fine. So now are you clear with this now? So this is the convention what I was talking about. So all these, whenever I say bytes, it is nothing but your hard disk size. We say I have got 200 GB hard disk, right? What does it mean? You can save your data up to 200 GB. Am I right? Hello? Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I lost the call again.
Okay. No, now you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is nothing but your size, actually size of hard disk. Fine. So at low level we have something called 1 byte is nothing but 8 bits. Anyways, when we enter into something called SharePoint, at that point, whenever we come into memory allocations, I'll explain you on very in deep what is a memory is, right? Fine. So let's get back to our business,
Okay.
which is nothing but now can you understand? Now 32-bit machine
Yeah.
is nothing but a 4 byte. Now I can say that 32-bit is nothing but 4 bytes. First point,
Right.
which means now I said this process in a processor I can enter something and get something, right? Which means I can have 4 bytes of data at once. I can feed 4 bytes of data and get 4 bytes of data at once. So this is the point here.
Can you just give me 2 minutes? I'll be back just now.
Yeah, sure. Take your time.
Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello?
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. Yeah, sure. So now here, whenever I say this processor, I said it can accept 4 bytes at once, 4 bytes at once out. Now
Right.
I'll give you a live example. You'll understand better. Now let us say you have a resume, right? And your resume is, let us say, some 10 bytes. Fine, 10 bytes of size. It is nothing but 10 bytes of size. Now, so whenever I say 10 bytes of size, now when I open this resume, what happens is it is of size 10 bytes, right? But my processor can load up to 4 bytes. So what happens is your first 4 bytes is loaded and output is coming. Now what is the remaining? I have 6 bytes more, right?
Yeah.
Again, one more round it will go, 4 bytes and 4 bytes will come out. Again, what is the remaining? 2, right? Again, the last 2 bytes will be loaded into processor and will be opened. At the completion of 10th byte, your resume is opened completely. Am I right?
Right.
Which means I'm taking this processor is taking this 32-bit machine is taking 3 steps to open your Microsoft Word resume, right? So that is nothing but your speed of a machine, which is 32-bit machine speed, right? So this is how all the process will work. Now that was 32-bit machine. Now you have got Windows 7, right? You have got Windows 7. So
Yes.
all the latest machines of Windows 7 are 64-bit machines. They have upgraded to 64. Now whenever I say 64, can I also say that it's a 8 byte?
Yes.
Because because one byte is 8 bits, so 8 bytes is nothing but 8 8s are 64. It's 64
Yeah.
bits, right? Now let us see the same example. Now whenever I want to open my 10 bytes of resume, how many steps I want? 8 bytes will be loaded at once and remaining is 2 and 2. How many steps it took? It only took 2 steps to open my resume. You understood now? So that is nothing but 64. Now your speed has completely doubled it up, right? So this is
So
not
the faster, the more the bytes, the faster it's supposed to.
perfect. The more the processing bytes, your computer will be more faster.
Right.
Fine. So that is nothing but your bit machine. Now let's get back to hardware and software requirements. So now it says you need at least 64-bit machine, which means in your 32-bit machine, your SharePoint 2010 will never run. Fine. Which means if you are using XP, you will never be able to use your SharePoint 2010. Fine.
Okay.
Now, in this engine, you need at least 4 GB of RAM. I think what is the RAM? You know the meaning of RAM, right? You need
read only
exactly.
Read only memory. Yeah.
Yeah. You need 4 GB RAM, and your machine should have at least 80 GB of your hard disk. Fine. These are all hardware requirements I am talking about if you want to work on your SharePoint server. Fine. And you should have at least 2.5 gigahertz of dual core processor. Anyways, you don't have to remember all these things, because if once you go into a bigger corporate and if you want to work on SharePoint, anyways, you will be getting all these things provided by your company itself. Fine.
Right.
You don't have to take care of, but only thing is you just have to know whatever you want. That's it. But whenever you go to a higher corporate, and if you got job and if you enter into a bigger corporation, you don't have to know all these things, because they'll set up everything for you, and you have to work on end SharePoint, which will be starting from next class for you. What you have to real time work will be started from tomorrow or day after tomorrow for you actually, right? But this is the basic things which you have to know, and these are the things which you have to cover in demo. So that's why I'm just making you learn. Fine.
Okay.
Fine. So on this machine, so till here, so this is nothing but hardware. Am I right? I have just talked about a machine of 64, and this is again a RAM is a tool. It is a hard disk and something called processor. Fine. Now let us see what is a software you need. You need a software called Windows Server 2008. Have you heard of this OS? Windows Server? Yes. So we need at least a Windows Server 2008 version of 2008 version of server. So this is very important. Your SharePoint 2001 will run only on Windows Server 2008. Fine. You will be learning about this anyways, right? And on top of this, there is one thing called IIS server, IIS 7.0 server. You should have this anyways, right? And anyways, if you have Windows Server, you will be having this IIS anyways, and you will be learning what is IIS. Fine. You need this IIS, and I'll be teaching you. I'll be taking separate class for you to make sure that you learn IIS. Fine. Now, and also you should have something called .NET installed in your PC. Anyways, if you install Windows Server, by default they are giving some 3.5 version of .NET. You don't have to worry about that, right? Okay. Now, with this you need something else called SQL Server, which is nothing but your database, SQL database. You know about database. What is database and all?
I haven't studied database. I know briefly what database does. And that.
No issues. I'll be teaching you about. I'll be teaching in one class what is database and how to query database and all. Fine. So database is nothing but database is something where you can store all your records, right? And you can retrieve your records, and you can update your record, right? I'll give you something. I'll give you a brief one simple example. You'll be having Facebook account, right? Now that's Facebook account maybe you would have created in at least 3 years back, let us say. Now, but even now, go to any part of any part of world and just browse facebook.com, and if you enter your username and password, it will be logged into your profile page. Am I right?
Correct.
Which means your user ID and password should be saved at one point, right? That is nothing but your database.
Okay.
Fine. All your username and password and all your profile, let us say your hobbies, your activities, or all your comments, everything will be saved in your database, and according to your profile ID, which means let us say your ID is Trupti Nai, right? According to that name, everything will be retrieved from your database. So that is a powerful tool called database, right?
Okay, right.
Fine. So these are the simple hard software requirements of your SharePoint. Now on top of this, your SharePoint is actually deployed, which is nothing but SharePoint 2010. Fine. This part of story is called as SharePoint Foundation 2010. So you need at least these requirements to satisfy the installation of SharePoint. Anyways, we'll install SharePoint in your PC anyways, and we'll see how to set up SharePoint environment in your PC. Fine. And on top of that, there is one more thing called SharePoint Server. which is again a licensed one, and we don't need these two for learning, because if you learn foundation, it's the same we find it in server. Fine. Fine. And the server, we need the server for higher corporate levels, because in corporate level or higher organization level, you are not supposed to use server directly. You have to pay Microsoft first, and then you can use SharePoint. Fine. Cool. Then this is the hardware and software requirements for which you need a SharePoint, right? So these are nothing but what is the SharePoint version we are using, and why SharePoint evolved, and what are the requirements and all. And so this will be all for demo. This is the basic introduction of SharePoint which we have, right? And in next class, I'll be running through how to set up SharePoint in your system, and then once the setup is done, then we'll be starting out with what exactly a developer do with SharePoint. Fine. So that will be our course content, how we will be moving on to SharePoint now, right? And I hope you are using Windows 7 in your laptop.
Yeah.
Right. Fine.
Yes.
Then it's cool. So now through email I'll just send you 2 links. Okay, I'll just send you 2 links, like how to set up a SharePoint server in a PC. Just go through, just read out the basic contents in that, and I hope you will be learning about that. Okay, but anyways, I'll be sending those 2. Just go through it. Anyways, you don't have to worry if you don't understand them. Anyways, I'll be guiding you to install SharePoint in your PC. Don't have to worry at all, right? Right, okay. Right, Trupti? Yeah, fine. Then that will be all for today. It's already been 1 hour for us. You can just contact with Rohit again. You can just give feedback to him, and if everything goes fine, we'll be continuing class. Okay, and in future classes, you'll be learning all these things. Whatever we have learned about memory. We have learned how to create a site and all. You will be learning very deeply in SharePoint server in upcoming classes. Right?
Sure, definitely.
Fine then, Trupti, that will be all for demo for today, right? And I'll see you probably in future classes. Fine?
Yeah. Can I just ask you a quick question?
Yeah, sure.
You have any notes like on SharePoint, like whatever we learned today? Do you have any way I can take some notes down?
I'll be sending all the videos to you. Everyday video I'll be sending, the teaching video I'll send it to you. Right? I'll send you I'll be recording.
Yes, I can write down.
No, because I'll be recording all the whole session. Whatever I'm teaching, I'll be recording the session in my computer. I'll send you the video of the same session.
Okay, good.
Which That's means good. You don't have to take notes anyways, right? Because whatever I'm teaching, whatever words I'm using, anyways you can everything I'm recording, you can use the same video for your practice.
Okay.
Fine.
That'll be helpful. Yeah, please.
Yeah, definitely. I'll share with you. Not a problem. But anyways, I don't know whether it is legal to share video, but I'll share with you so that but anyways, I'm also sharing the same with other students. I'll introduce you once we get back. Okay. And that's how we learn. Fine.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, Trupti,
then. Thank you very much for today, and
fine.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. I'll let you know when our next class will be. Fine. Fine, Trupti, then you can just talk to Rohit, and you can give your feedback. Fine. Okay, then have a nice day. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.